Coffee, 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 coffee. I'm losing my mind. Hey guys, this is Josh with Next Step Cubing. We're going to start with the next step of the CFOP series. What we're going to do is actually start orienting our last layer, which is called OLL. Now, for the context of just being able to start doing OLLs, we're going to do this in 2 steps. So when we get to the OLL step, the putting all the yellow on top for the CFOP method, the thing that you have to remember, and I talked about it in the beginner's method, is that you don't have to worry about if each piece is going to be in the exact right spot like we did for the white cross. So I'm not worried about putting the yellow and orange right here, or the red right here, or this and that. I'm just making sure I get the yellow pieces on top. So the order doesn't matter. We'll get that fixed in the last step. But what we're going to talk about is going to deal with a lot of different algorithms and recognizing patterns. So we won't be doing too much of tutorial, more as in just showing you the different algorithms that we're going to use for each case that we see. Okay. Now, in all, to be able to solve OLL in pretty much just one step altogether, it's a total of 57 algorithms. I'm not going to make you learn all 57 of them, so we're only going to deal with 10 of them, which makes it a whole lot easier, and we're going to break it down, like I said, into 2 steps. So the first thing that we have to do is to see if all our edges are aligned, or if we have a yellow cross. If we don't, then we're going to do what I call the first look of OLLs. One case that we have, and this is a common case that we have done before, is a line case where we have all the yellow in line where the 2 edges are across from each other. Okay, so if you ever have a line case like this, we're going to use that algorithm we used in the beginner's method, which was F, the sexy move, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then F prime. Okay, now the next case is if you have 2 edges on top, but they are what I call adjacent to each other, and they make this little arrow shape. So the way to do this algorithm is to do a wide F move. So taking my middle layer here, instead of just the first, I'm going to do the first and middle layer here to do a wide F move. Still do sexy, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then wide F prime to bring it all back to the top. And that'll give you a cross on top. All right, the last of this look is the dot case. Now, the dot case is when you don't have any edges on the top. And sometimes dot cases are hard to recognize because you might have like a yellow corner or 2 yellow corners or things like that. But it means that there are no edges that are yellow on top. So anytime we have a dot case, what we're going to do is actually do both of the algorithms we just learned, but back to back. So I'll do the line case first, which is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, which brings me into the arrow case, and then I can do the arrow case right after that, which is wide F, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then wide F prime. And that'll bring me across on top. So dealing with second look, what we're looking for is now our yellow corners, and we're going to see where our yellow corners are to see what pattern we're going to use. Okay, so if we have one of the 2 cases where we have one yellow corner on top, then I want you to look on the front, and we're going to figure out which of the 2 cases we're going to use. So if I have a yellow corner on top and my other yellow corner is going to be on the front side of the cube facing you on the right side, This is what we call a Sune case. The one that we need to make sure that we put is this one in that bottom left side in front. So when we get to this case, we're going to do the Sune algorithm, which, if you remember from our beginner's method, went R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, the next one that we have is also when we have just one on top, but in this case, we have the yellow on the left side in front instead of on the right. So when we have it on the left side in front, we want to put that one yellow on the top in the back right corner here, and we're going to do what we call the Anti-Sune. Okay, Anti-Sune is going to go like this: R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime. And what that'll do is bring all the yellow on top. Okay, the next set of algorithms we're going to learn are the ones with no corners on top, like this. So if you don't have any of the yellow corners on top, what you need to do is look for where the yellow corners are. Now, if you have two yellow corners going out to the right side and two going out to the left side, this is what we call double Sune. And the algorithm for this one is going to be R, U, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. All right, the next one that we have with no corners on top, you're going to have the two headlights facing out towards the left side this time, but on the right side, you'll have one of the yellow corners facing you and the other is going to be facing the back side. So in this case, this is what we call Bruno, or this is what I call Bruno. And the algorithm for this one is going to be this: wide F, R, U, R prime, U prime, wide F prime, F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And if you realize, it's basically the same algorithms we use for the first look. Instead of doing the dot case like we're used to, we inverted those algorithms. Okay, the next cases that we have are the ones where we have two corners on top. Okay, so anytime we have two corners on top, we're going to use one of these three algorithms. So the first one is if we have the two corners on the right side, and your other two corners, there's going to be one facing you on the front side here and the other facing the back. This is what we call the lizard, and the algorithm for this one is going to be wide R, U, R prime, U prime, wide R prime, F, R, U. Now, if you realize, that is also doing the sexy and sledgehammer right after each other, just using wide moves for the beginning of each of those. The next one that we have is the bow tie. Now, the bow tie is going to have two opposite corners on top. Now, if we turn it this way, it does resemble kind of a bow tie shape. But the other thing that we want to look for is putting one of our yellow corners on the side in the right side facing you. The other one's going to be on the left side towards the back. So to do this one, we're going to use the same moves that we did for the lizard, except we're going to start with the last move first. So that's going to be F prime, then wide R, U, R prime, U prime, and then wide R prime, F, R. The last that we have with two corners on top are called headlights. So we'll have two of the corners on top towards the back and two in the front like this. The algorithm for this, there's no triggers for it. We're going to have to pretty much learn it by rote. But the algorithm for this one is going to be R2, D, R prime, U2, R, D prime, R prime, U2, R prime, and it'll bring all the yellow on top. All right, So when it comes to actually practicing these algorithms, the best thing for you to do is just to do the same algorithm over and over and over again until you pretty much get it under your fingers. So in the case of doing like something like Sune, I can do U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, and then just keep doing it until I get it memorized. And eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to actually get to the point where you'll see the case, like this is the Sune case, and then when you solve it, it'll be solved. Okay, when it comes to actually speed solving, the faster that you can do your OLL and your PLLs, the faster your time can drop down. So with that said, that's really all that I have for this video. If you have any questions, any comments, just drop a line on the bottom. I want to thank you guys again for watching, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.